Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro, and I gotta tell you, I am fired up today because today we are going to talk about one of the biggest common misconceptions, at least in my opinion, when it comes to getting paid to speak. Because I got started in 2001 as a speaker and a coach, and when I was doing that, I was going out and obviously doing some speaking. Most of them, if not all of them at that time, were free engagements, and that was fine. I was using it as a way to kind of get my name out there, get in front of folks, and like I said, get clients for my coaching practice. But I remember when I was doing one of the engagements one of those times, and I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be awesome if I could actually get paid to speak? Like, I'm already out there and I love what I'm doing and people say that I'm good at it. Wouldn't it be terrific if I got a check when I came to these events actually compensating me for the speaking? And after thinking about it, I thought to myself, of course, right? Who wouldn't want to get paid to speak for something that in my case was something that I was already passionate about? So I dove right in. I was taking a look at some different things and thinking about it. And then I got to tell you, I ran into a problem. I was overwhelmed. I had no idea where to start. I mean, literally, I was like, yeah, let's go get paid to speak. And I'm like running. I'm like, wait, I don't know where to start. I mean, literally, I make fun of it now, but it's kind of like I had no idea. Is there a list of people I need to talk to? How do we get in touch with those folks? When we talk about paid speaking engagements, are we talking about corporations, or maybe there's some other places to be able to do that? What should I be charging, right? How can I best negotiate that rate with others without being this kind of salesy type person? And a whole host of other things. And like I said, it was so much, I just stopped. I mean, I just got overwhelmed. I stopped and I just let it go, kept doing my coaching, stuff like that. Now, obviously, I picked it back up again. And, along the way, I did a lot of things to kind of get organized to see what I needed to do to get more paid speaking engagements. I started, I did a ton of research on it. I was reading a ton of books. I wound up talking to some folks in the industry, and then I did some more research, talked to some more folks, and I wound up with a little bit of a game plan on what you could do to be able to get more paid speaking engagements. And one of them I want to kind of touch on here real quick, which is like I said, a common misconception in terms of getting paid to speak. And quite simply, it's this idea that it's super hard in order to get speaking engagements that compensate you, right? And here's how I kind of describe it. I wouldn't say getting paid speaking engagements is super easy. I don't want to be like, oh, this is so easy. I just, in my mind, tic-tac-toe, things like that where you're going out. That's a game that in my mind, checkers, these are relatively easy games, right? You can go and talk to a child, right? And after 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, you can reasonably expect that he or she has got the concept of the game down, knows how to do stuff, and can play you, and actually might even win a game or two, depending on how, well they play. Right? So I wouldn't say that getting paid speaking engagements is easy in that regard, but it's not hard either. And I think that's a common, like I said, misconception, because in my mind, hard, quantum physics, that to me sounds hard. First man mission to Mars, that to me sounds hard. Summiting Mount Everest, because apparently there's like a 2-hour window, and if you don't go up and get back, or it's like 2 or 3 hours, if you don't go up and come back, like that's hard, okay? Paid speaking engagements, contrary to what a lot of people, I'll speak for myself, to what I thought, was surprisingly easy. Now there are some do's and don'ts, don't get me wrong. You do need to make sure that you have obviously a topic that you're knowledgeable and passionate about. You do need to make sure that you are articulating it in a way that attracts buyers. You do need to make sure that you're visible. We've talked about some of these things before. You don't want to come across as this over-the-top, salesperson. You don't want to be this kind of diva that's hard to work with. There's some do's and don'ts, and that's just a few off the top of my head. But getting paid to speak was not and is not that hard. And the question I always ask people is, well, if you're going out there and speaking, if you're going out and have some content and you're looking for kind of a bigger stage or a bigger platform, or you want to get more people involved with what it is you're doing, why wouldn't you want to get paid to speak while you're doing that? And that's something that I talk to people a lot about. We do some coaching and stuff like that behind that, and it's really, really good because people are like, oh my gosh, if I'd known about this before, I would have done it sooner. And I'm like, well, listen, You know, when the student's ready, the teacher appears. I feel like that myself, and that is totally, totally how it goes. So if you want to talk a little bit more about that, absolutely, you can direct message me. I'm usually a LinkedIn man, so what you can do is you can just message me and say, hey, listen, Brian, I was taking a look at your video. You know, can you tell me a little bit more about this, getting paid to speak? Like, what is it that you do exactly? And that's fine. There's not going to be a big sales pitch or anything like that. I'll just give you some of my experience on what I've done over the last several years. Like I said, got started in '01 to be successful in this regard. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's something that you can see yourself doing. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.